Hey there guys, welcome again. It's Davis and today we're going to be working on how to make linear minimaps in Godot. So as you can see here I have my linear minimap. This is my player and these are the checkpoints. If you watch my other tutorial you will know how to make checkpoints. So yeah, go ahead and go watch it. I'm gonna put it as a link in the description. So we have our checkpoint and if you notice when I come close it aligns properly. If I move again to checkpoint 2 it aligns, and yeah, we're going to be covering all this in this tutorial. At the end here, which is going to be checkpoint 5, you're going to see finish, and when we finish it's going to go back to the menu scene. So that's how to do it, and if you press play again it's gonna continue from where it stopped. Sorry for that sound. Yeah, some things are happening. So now we have our normal platformer, and as I said before, I recommend that tutorial on checkpoints if you really want to follow along. So I'm going to run my game now, and you'll see that I don't have any mini maps. I only have my checkpoints. Okay, so let's get started in what we need to do because it's kind of long. So if you haven't watched my tutorial, this is a quick um, this is a quick preview of what is happening. This is going to check is going to instance some nodes, which are sorry, it's going to instance some scenes, which is just this our checkpoints in the game scene, and it's going to instance it as a child of this guy. So that's all we do, and it's going to have an interval, a particular interval of 1000, and yeah, that's it. That's all. So if you watch the other tutorial, you'll know that I didn't use this system, but I just decided to use it now, just so that you can see how that works. And here where we have max checkpoints, so this is the number of checkpoints that we have in total. We put it here and put it here, so that at the last checkpoint it's gonna say finish. And we'll go to the player when we hit the checkpoints. If the checkpoint is the last checkpoint, then we change the scene to the menu. So sorry that I was talking fast, but anyways, that's not the topic of today. So let's go into what we need to do. I'm just gonna close this guy up. What we need is a HUD for the player. So we're going to go ahead, sorry, and add a canvas layer. Canvas, I think this is it. Yep. And as a child of this, we're gonna add node 2D and a line 2D. So this line is gonna be that line. If you watch the preview, you can go ahead and go watch it again. You'll see the line of our minimap, and it was something close to this, something like this. So we're not going to be placing these guys manually like the way I just did here, because if we have different screen sizes that will just be wrong to just mess up a couple of things, and we don't want that. So we're going to just remove all these and just leave the line 2D empty. We're going to be applying all that in code. And for the 2D, I'm just going to name this, let's say, icons, because we need our player icon and some minimap icons. Sorry, for some sign icons. This guy is going to be, I'm going to scale it down to about 0.2 so that it's small enough to fit in 0.2, 0.2, yeah, so that it's small enough to fit in our minimap. I just scale it down a little bit, and I think I'm going to put it somewhere here. I'm going to measure about a 50 or 40, I guess 40 would be nice or so. Anyways, I'm going to just move it up here, something like this. And this guy, I'm going to just give it a 0.5 and 0.5. So this is all we need for the nodes, I think. I'm not sure anyways, but yeah, hopefully this is all we need. I'm just gonna rename this guy HUD, and we don't really need to be placing this manually because we're going to place it in the code, and this sign is going to be invincible by default. So we go to our HUD, add a script, and here we're going to make a couple of variables, about 5 or so, but I'm not going to be making them now. I'm going to be making them as we keep going so that you really understand how everything works. So the first variable we're going to make is going to be screen underscore size, and it's going to be equal to a vector 2 which has two values. This screen size value is just going to be our screen size, obviously, So we say func underscore ready screen size equals to, okay, we're going to get the icons dot get underscore viewport rect dot size. So why I can't say just normal get viewport rect dot size is because it's it doesn't work on a canvas layer. Actually, I think it works on a canvas item. Yeah, it works on canvas items, but it doesn't work on canvas layer because it's not a child of it. So yeah, that's what we need for the ready. I'm not sure that that's all. I don't think that's all anyways, but we're going to be adding those other ones later. Here we're going to make a process function, and I'm going to be making something that I call an artificial ready function. So I'm going to make a variable at the start here. Var ready is going to be equal to false. Just gonna, yeah, so sorry, it's going to be equal to true. So I call this an artificial ready function because it's going to run only one time, but we're going to put it in the process function. The reason why we're not putting it in the ready is because the checkpoints are actually created in the ready, and we want to get the checkpoints. So if we put it in the ready, it's not going to get anything. It's going to give us an error that it can't find what we're trying to get. So we're going to put it in the process so that it's going to get it in the process. Okay, so we're going to say if ready, then we pass, and we want to set ready to equal to false. So this is what I said by this is what I meant by when I say artificial ready. And in this tutorial, I'll most likely be calling this my ready function. So yeah, just get used to it. Okay. Yeah. So on the ready function, I've already started anyways. So on the ready, we're going to on the process, we're going to check if ready is true, then carry out whatever is in the code and make ready to false, so that it can never ever come back here. So that's all we need. Then another thing we need to do right now is we're going to set the points of the line. Okay, so this is actually kind of tricky because our screen, okay, for example, this is actually our screen size 0 to 1024. For me right now, it's 0 to 1024. If you just use your ruler there, give you that. But anyways, what we want to get is the half of it. So half of it will be most likely 600. No, sorry, 540. It should be somewhere around here. So we want to get half of this 540, which is going to be 270, which is going to be around here where this ruler is placed. I think it's going to be around here or so. Yeah, exactly there. And also, we're going to get 540 minus divided by 2, which is also going to be here, which is going to be about, I don't know, I don't really want to calculate that now, but I just want to explain how all this will work. So this is the space where our line 2D is going to be placed. So this is actually the space that is going to contain our minimap, just so that we can keep it in the middle. And here we're just going to say on the ready function, as I said before, I'll be calling this on the ready. So we're going to say line 2D dot add point. So we're going to add a point, and where is this point going to be? It's going to be screen size dot x divided by 4, okay, comma 50. And after this, oh sorry, I meant to put this in brackets and put it in a vector 2. So yeah, vector 2, vector 2, yeah. So it's going to give it this position, and it's going to ask for the particular index, so it's going to be 0, because if we have our line here and we try to add, you see that it starts from 0, 1, 2, and keeps going like that. So we want it to have a 0 by default. Yeah, so that the first point we're going to add is a 0, and it's going to be screen size divided by 4, screen size dot x divided by 4, meaning this guy divided by 2 divided by 2. So it's going to start here, and it's going to, we don't know where to end yet, so we're going to calculate that. So this 50 is going to be the y position, because we don't want the line to be at 0 0, sorry, We don't want it to be at 0 0, so it's going to be the line position. So we kind of shift it down a little bit for it to be about 50, so it's going to start here and it's going to end somewhere. So this 50, we're going to be using it most times, so we just make a constant for it. So we just say constant, it's going to be y offset, and it's going to be equal to 50, because yeah, we're going to be using it and it's not going to be changing. So say y offset is going to be equal to 50, and over here where we have 50, we just say y offset. So this plays that position there nicely, and we're going to add another point, so that's the end point. We're going to say line to the add point, add point, and we're going to say vector 2. In this case, we're going to put in brackets there, and we're going to just set the index to 1 for now, because it's actually meant to be 1. So we have our vector 2, and what we're going to do is we're going to say screen size, the x multiplied by 0.75, and we're doing multiplied by 0.075 because it's not going to be like this one. This one is just, we can say multiply by 0.25, but since we can easily say multiply divided by 4, it works nicely. This one we can say multiplies by 3 over 4. So I'm just going to show you what I mean. This is our entire screen. Okay, this is our entire screen. Or let's say on the x-axis this is the screen, and as you know, it's going to be cut into parts like this, where this side is 270, which is going to be half of that. So from here to here is 540, and from here to here is another 540. So what we want to get is from here to here. So this is where the minimap is going to be ending, and this is where it's going to be starting. But we want to get from here to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say 540, since this is half of the screen, 1 over 2 of the screen, and this is 1 over 4 of the screen. If you add that, it gives you 3 over, sorry, my mouse is kind of sick, it will give you 3 over 4 of what, of the space here. So we say screen size dot x multiplied by 3 over 4 will give you the distance from here to here. I'm just going to delete all this. Yep. So go back to Godot and we multiply by 0.75. So yeah, that works and that's nice. We're going to check it by hitting F6. Go to the game scene, hit F6, just so that we can see if our line is drawn well. And it says non-existent vector2 constructor. Okay, yeah, the problem is we only set for the x value, we didn't set for the y. So here we're going to just say y offset, F6 again, try it, and it draws it nicely. So yeah, it works. It draws the line at the middle of the screen there. If you have a bigger screen like 1020, sorry, 1280 or 1980, yeah, it will also draw it in the middle there, and it will draw it nicely. It will take the amount of space relative to the amount of the size of the screen. So yeah, we're done with this for the lines, and we're gonna add other things there. We're just gonna remove this pass. Yeah, so we're gonna add other things here. So what we not want to do now is want to get all the nodes in the science node. So what we're going to do is we're going to make another variable, and this is going to be called, let's say, all underscore check underscore, okay, all checkpoints, and this is going to be equal to get underscore tree dot current scene. So if we're in the game scene and that's the only scene that the player will be, hopefully in your game, okay, so if we're in the scene and it's the game scene, and we're going to get this node. So we say the current scene, which is going to get the game node here, and we say dot get underscore node, and here we're going to say signs. Okay, so we're done with that, and it's going to get the signs node, and we're going to say dot get underscore children, because we want to get the signpost in that node. That's what we want to get. So all checkpoints, here we can just say print all checkpoints. So if you notice, if we run this, it's going to print it here in the output. As you can see, it has four children there because we set the max checkpoints to 4. If you set that to like 100, it's going to give you 100 of that. So yeah, that's nice. If we go back to our code, you see that it's going to print that nicely. So we'll just F8 that just to close that up. And now we want to get the last node in this, because the last node is literally going to be the last position, the end position of our game. Okay, so the last node, the last checkpoint is going to be where the game ends. For my game anyway, I don't know about you, but if yours is different, you can, I know you're smart, you can do all that complex math. So what we want to do now is we're going to say I'm sorry, we want to say end post, or yeah, make a variable, or we're going to make a variable outside here. So it's a variable end underscore post, and in here we're going to say end post should be equal to all checkpoints, and since it's an array, we're going to put square brackets in there and say again all checkpoints dot size. Where is it? The size, I'm just gonna size, okay, the size is -1 dot global underscore position. So essentially what this is doing is it's going to get the global position of the last node. How is it going to do this? It's going to get all the nodes in the all checkpoints, and it's going to get the size of the checkpoint node, okay, the size of the number of children in it, okay, and it's going to subtract 1 from it and get the global position. Why is subtracting 1 is because 1, like for example, I have up to 10 children, and the last one will actually have an index of 9, not 10, so we're going to have to subtract 1 from that 10. So yeah, that will work, and that's nice. So we've gotten the end position, and now what we want to do is we want to just set our sprite position, here our icon sprite position, to our to the beginning of the checkpoint, oh sorry, to the beginning of the minimap. So we can literally copy this vector 2 here, y offset, just where you see y offset, you can copy this and just say sprite, okay, icons of player dot global position, or no, let's just say the position should be equal to that. So that will work because it's just going to put it at this at the start of this of the game, at the start of the map, just the way this does it. And if we'll actually be using this value a lot in this tutorial, so we want to make a variable for that. And we're going to make it up here, okay, no, here, up here, say var x offset. So now we have an x and y offset, and it's going to be equal to, okay, it's not going to be equal to anything right now. So on the real ready function, we're going to say x offset should be equal to screen size divided by 4. So we can go over here and change these values to that, x offset, and also here x offset. So we're done with that. Actually, I don't like using so much variables in my tutorials, but this is actually essential, so you really understand how everything is happening. So yeah, don't judge me, it's not my fault. We're going to make a variable again. We're going to make a variable called map underscore scale. So I'm going to show you why I'm making this variable in a second. The reason why I'm making this variable is, for example, we have our map. Okay. I think this is the normal x-axis, the normal game. This is not the map yet. For example, this is the normal game, and for example, here is 0. Okay, this is the start point, which is 0, and maybe the end is about, let's say, 2000. Okay, 2000, and we want a situation whereby the distance of the line won't change. It's just the speed of the player moving on the minimap that will change. So for example, we have 0 here and let's say 100. Okay. We have 0 here and 2000 here. The lines are still the same, the lines don't change. What changes is how the player moves on the line. So here, if the player is on like maybe a 10, like if the player's current position is like a 10, here on this map it's going to look like somewhere here. Okay, that's just because this map scale is kind of going to be more, or no, sorry, the map scale, yeah, the map scale is going to be more than this one. That's because here the max is 2000 and here the max is 100, so it's going to just alter this player's speed instead of um altering the length of the line. So we go back here, and I'm just going to show you how to calculate the map scale. So you see map scale, map underscore scale should be equal to screen size divided by 2. Okay, because this is literally the length of the map. Okay, because if you actually calculate this, here is 270, here is 270, and the total is 1024. So 270 plus 270 will give you 540, and 540 minus 1024 will give you this remaining space here. Hopefully what I said made sense. I hope you really understood what I just said. And here we're going to say map scale equals to the half of the screen, that's the length of the minimap. Where is it? Yeah, and divided by end position. So it's going to get the end position and it's going to divide it by the map scale. Sorry, the map scale is going to, the half of the screen is going to be divided by the end position. So for example, as in our case, the map position is the map, sorry, the the screen size divided by 2 is equal to 540 in our case. Then if you divide this by 2000, I think I'm going to pull out my calculator here. 2000. So we're going to say 540 divided by 2000. We're going to see that it's going to give us 0.27. So the map scale will be equal to 0.27. We're going to be using this later and you see how it will work. This one, if we multiply for this, you'll see that it gives us a larger value. So let's try it. I'm going to say 540 divided by 100. So this will cross off from my basic math, I know. So we're going to say 54 divided by 10. 54, 4 divided by 10. Yeah, that give us 5.4. As I said before, it will be higher, so it give us 5.4. It's going to multiply the player's minimap scale speed by 5.4 instead of 0.27. So yeah, that's it. That's nice. And that we're going to be using this map scale a lot in this tutorial. So now we have covered a lot of things, and if we run the game now, there's no progress. So I don't want to run the game so that you guys won't click off the video. So I just want to put in some more code, like 2 lines or so, that will actually give us some progress. So here, what I want to do is I just want to say the player. Okay, so we're gonna get the player node. So we say icon player dot position equal to pose the x. Okay, sorry, I've not set pose the x yet. So we're going to make a variable here. Don't be scared, this is not another elaborate variable. This is just going to be the parent global position. Yeah, parent dot global position. And here we're just gonna say icon divided by player. Sorry, icons. The player node, the minimum icon, the position will be equal to position the x. Sorry, yeah, pose the x multiplied by minimap scale. Really, what's happening? I'm sorry for this. I don't really know why this is. I think I have a bug in my mouse or something. Okay, so we say mini. Okay, multiply by map map scale. Sorry, and we're going to put these in parentheses, and we're going to add the x offset to this. So the x offset is from the distance from here to here. So it's going to add that. Let me just pull out my paint again and show you guys how this works. We're going to delete all this, and where is it? Okay, so we have our map scale here, our mini map here, and this is our real world. Okay, so the map scale, what it's actually going to do is going to reduce the size of things so that I can just fit in this map. Like three. So it's going to just reduce the size of things so that I can fit in that map. And since um our scene has the same viewport size, this is actually meant to copy here. So here to here is actually x offset. There's an x offset. I don't want to type that. I don't want to write that full. So yeah, it's going to multiply our present position. For example, is here. It's going to multiply by the map scale, which is going to give us something like around here or so. If we're here, it's going to give us something like around here, almost at the middle, and stuff like that. It's just going to reduce the size kind of for us. So we're going to try this by hitting F6 on the game scene, and we'll see if that works and it doesn't work. So what's the problem now? Save can't convert argument 1 from vector 2 to float. Really? Okay, yeah, this is one common mistake I really make, where I am my x offset is equal to this, but it's meant to be equal to screen size dot x divided by 4. I'm sorry for that. I'm gonna run this again. And another problem. What is it this time? X offset vector 2 float. Yeah, and I made the same mistake again over here, where we have the dot x. Meant to put the dot x there. So we'll try this third time the charm, and wow, what the problem is. Okay, yeah, again another problem. We want to add the dot x. Most of all these things will have a dot x because we're mostly working on a linear minimap, and they say position and base price value of type floats. Okay, yeah, the position again has to be a dot x, but yeah, has to be a dot x. But for this one, we're going to just, these are all like on the ready function. So we have already set the y offset. So here on the process is just to set the x offset. So we're going to try this again, and yeah, it works. As you can see, our player can move, but it's behind the line. We're going to fix that in a second. But as you can see, it can move, and on the minimap it's also moving. And since I have about five, I think, yeah, I think um 5 checkpoints there at the end. Where you see finish, my player is also at the end of the minimap. So that is nice, and I want to show you how the y scale how the map scale actually helps. So the icons here, I just want to take this at the back so that my player will show in front, and I want to show you how the map scale works. So if we go to back to our game scene and just increase this value to like a 10, you see that, or let's say a 50, you see that our player will walk very slowly on the mini map, and this is because of the map scale. As you can see, if I move now, my movement isn't really so significant on the map scale because sorry on the minimap because of the map scale. It's actually going to reduce so that I can make the end here 50. So at the end here 50, we are going to get to that. I'm sorry for that, that just happened. It's because if it collides with area, area with an area with the name of 5 is going to do that and all that stuff. So anyways, that's the usefulness of a map scale. We're going to make this part 4 and go to our HUD and continue. What we need is just to set the position of our checkpoints on our minimap. Okay, so our minimap is kind of empty and we don't want that, so I want to set the checkpoints. We go back to our HUD and here we're going to say for check. I'm just going to use check p. So I'm going to say check p in all checkpoints. So for check p in all checkpoints, we want to actually what we want to do is we want to duplicate this node. Excuse me. So we want to duplicate this sign node for all our signs in this signs node here. So we want to duplicate the sign sprite so that it can just fill in for everyone there. Because we don't have a particular number, this can just vary according to the max checkpoint. So we're going to look through all the children of these signs and yeah, just duplicate nodes for each of them. And by default here, you can see my sign is hidden. And we're going to show it in code. So for check p in all checkpoints, get all the checkpoints here. For each of them, we're going to say sign dot duplicate. So what this is essentially doing is just going to get this sign node here and just duplicate it. So this is very nice of Godot to do this because it's really cool. So it's going to duplicate it and we want to add, okay, we want to get the icons, the add child, and we want to add, wait, sorry, we meant to put this in a variable var. I'll just give this I, and it's going to be equal to the duplicated thing, the duplicated node. So we say add child I. So we added the child now, and just so that I won't have excess lines, I'm going to put a semicolon here and just say I dot show, just so that we can make it visible there. So we're done with all this. The next thing we want to do is we want to set the position of this particular duplicated node, of this duplicated sign sprite to what is meant to be on the minimap. So it's literally just going to be like the player. If the minimap is somewhere here, it's going to use the map scale and find its position on the map. So we're going to say I dot position should be equal to um, it's going to be the same way that this guy works. So the position the x, I'm just going to add that the x at the end there. So it's going to be equal to pose the x times map scale plus offset. So what we're going to say is check p dot global position, and we're going to put this in brackets. Oh, sorry. Global the global position of the particular sign we're talking about, and we're going to multiply by map scale so that it can be where it is on the map in the real life, something like that. Then at 0 add the x offset to it. So yeah, we're done with that, and it's going to set the position of it nicely. We're going to try it out, but wait, before that I'm just going to run through and check if everything is all right. The position the x, see, we need that the x, and yeah, hopefully everything is okay. We run it. So yeah, it instances the node, the sprites there really nicely. And if we move, we see that where this checkpoint 1 is actually where the player is on the map. Everything works just because of the map scale. Okay, so checkpoint 2 also, checkpoint 3 also, everything works really nicely. So finish 2 is the same. So yeah, that's all for this tutorial. Please don't leave me hanging. Subscribe to this channel if you want to keep getting full videos like this. And yeah, I think you will not regret it. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comments or go on my Discord, or yeah, go on my Discord and I'll be happy to help you there. If you don't mind, you can follow me on Instagram or on Twitter. I'll be happy. Thanks for watching again, and goodbye. See you next time.